Hey, what's up? It's Jake. It's a nice sunny Sunday, not crazy hot. My car says it's 77 degrees. I'm on my way to Akron, Ohio, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from where I live, to have band rehearsal with Almost Human. It's a metal band that I've been a big fan of for almost 20 years, and their drummer Eric is a friend of mine, and he contacted me a couple months ago to ask if I would be interested in getting together with them to record an album. And I definitely didn't hesitate to take him up on his offer. And this is our second rehearsal together. It's a little slow going just because of scheduling and things like that, but I think it's really going to be fun. I'm a metal guy at heart. I've played metal for a long time. I've definitely strayed away from metal. My most recent band was a country band, like a modern country band, like, you know, Luke Bryan type country. And you know, that was totally different. That was out of my normal realm of what I consider to be in my wheelhouse. But it was a nice challenge, and it was fun, and that kind of music is definitely popular, and especially in our area, and it pays well. If you have a gig, you can really make some money doing modern country. Every time I've played in a band that's different than metal, I always kind of feel like I'm doing something outside of my norm, my comfort zone. And I guess the only thing you can say about that is that I have to chalk that up to feeling like metal is my home or whatever. I'm feeling a little old. I'm 35. I'm as fat as I've ever been. My body's kind of breaking down on me. I've got some issues with, you know, my knee, and an issue with a nerve thing in my back right now. And I realized that it's really easy to make excuses. If I wanted to not do this, there's a million excuses I could find to avoid doing it. But at the end of the day, you just got to step up and make a way, you know? Here I am at 35 thinking I feel old, but you know, everyone else in the band is a little bit older than I am. And then you have all these bands out here like Metallica still doing it after all these years, and they're what, 50? If you want to find an excuse not to do something, you can find one. You know, that's just 101. You know, you can find an excuse for anything. You know, why you can't go to school, why you can't get a job, why you can't lose weight, why you can't find a girlfriend, all these different things. There's a million excuses, but there are also a lot of ways to get things done. And if you think you're too old to play metal, then yeah, you're probably too old to play metal. But it's all in your head, you know. I'm gonna go do this today, and I really enjoy it, and I feel alive when I'm playing this kind of music. And for me, I don't care if it pays well, or, you know, if I play to a room of 50 people and they all love it and they're all feeling it, that's okay with me. You know, I don't need to play on some grand stage at a festival in front of 10,000 people to feel like my music is validated. That's not to say that I won't play other kinds of music again, but I'm happy to be sort of back in the saddle playing something that's loud and heavy and aggressive. And I've been away from metal for so long that now metal feels like the challenge. You know, I got to get my fingers back to speed, and I got to get back into, you know, being able to move and put on a show. I'm probably as fat as I've ever been in my life, and that makes it hard when you're trying to perform. You're trying to move around, and you're trying to put on a show, and it's hot, and you're sweaty, and you know, it's gross. It's not ideal when you're as heavy as I am, but it's never stopped me in the past. and it won't stop me in the future. So we'll see what happens. I have nothing but appreciation for the opportunity to still play music at this point. I know a lot of people who started playing music around the same time that I started playing music, when I was like 16, and a lot of those people gave up by now. And I'm proud of the different music that I've played over the years, and the bands that I've been in, and the friendships I've made, and you know, being a part of various projects has opened my eyes to different ways of thinking. It's broadened my horizons. It's definitely made my bass playing stronger. I'm comfortable as a background vocalist. Obviously, I won't be doing too much of that in a metal band, but there's a lot of things that I've been able to accomplish or to grow as a musician just because I've stuck with it. And I applaud anyone who sticks with music, especially when you're not able to make it your career. It's one thing to be able to support yourself on music and stick with it that way, but when you're doing music as a hobby, or any hobby, honestly, any hobby you're doing that isn't sustaining your everyday life in terms of being able to pay your mortgage or pay your car payment or whatever, any hobby that you stick with, I commend you for that, because it's easy to get frustrated. You know, it doesn't take much to keep the motivation at a minimum. Morale is sometimes hard to find, and if you don't push forward, no one's going to push you forward. If you decide that you don't want to play music anymore, you might have a handful of supportive people around you to say, oh, you should totally stay with it. But at the end of the day, that voice isn't going to convince you one way or the other. You have to be committed to pushing forward. And, you know, taking time off is something that I've done a couple times, and I've regretted it every time I've done it. But when it happens, and you can't manufacture motivation. You can't. Some people are just burning with passion for their music or for whatever their hobby is. Some people find that it's hard to get that passion. For me, it's a mix. Sometimes I have it and I'm through the roof and I can't stop thinking about music, and all I want to do is create new music and record music and play music and listen to music, and that's all I want to do. But there are definitely times where music is an afterthought for me, and I'm into something else, and I have different hobbies. I'm not just a musician. I'm into vintage motorcycles, and I'm into old cameras, and I'm into sports. I like the Pittsburgh Penguins. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like the Pirates. I like Ohio State football. There are a lot of different things that sort of take up some of my time. In the fall, I usually buy the new Call of Duty, and I play that online with my friends. And I think it's possible that you can have balance in your life and still be passionate about something but not have it consume you. But you can't hope that someone else will motivate you, because otherwise 5-10 years will go by, 15 years will go by, and you'll realize that you haven't touched it. And that's a sad thing when you look back and you say, man, where did all that time go? I'm really happy to have this opportunity to play with Almost Human. I'm interested to see how everything's going to turn out. I'm really excited to record an album with them, and hopefully I'll be posting some stuff on the channel eventually that sort of, I guess, exemplifies the fruits of those labors. Thanks for paying attention. I don't do this vlog thing. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I just figured I got a little trip, a little hour and 15-minute ride on the interstate. Right now, as you can see, the season is ripe. We are in full bloom with the Ohio unofficial state flower, the orange traffic barrel. So we are 60 miles an hour for however many miles, and that's super exciting. We'll file that under things you don't see every day.